kitty, kitty. Mama's got some treats for you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty. You can buy this taste in the zoo. Oh, here, kitty, kitty. What's up, y'all? This is Ty, and I'm finally singing a song that actually goes with the video. Isn't that something? This actually goes with what I'm going to be talking about today because I got that here, kitty, kitty. Y'all know how I do. I be singing songs that ain't got nothing to do with the video. This has everything to do with the video. That song is by Joe Exotic, and Joe Exotic is on The Tiger King. That's a Netflix true crime docu-series called Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. And it is all of those things. Now, what it focuses on is the world of the big cat zookeepers and the big cat lovers and big cat rescuers. And the big cats are the tigers, the endangered species. And these people have private zoos and they're breeding them and selling them and making good money because apparently a lot of people like tigers and like having tigers in their house. And listen, we had a cat when I was growing up, and when they first brought that cat home, I was not feeling them. Like, I was like, nah. Me, I'm not really a pet kind of person. You know, I'm like, I had fish. Those were what I liked. I had fish, exotic fish, in my big fish tank, and I had them for a few years. And I took good care of them, but that got really expensive. But once they died, that was it. I'm not really into. So it was fascinating just to see people. Look, I can't even have a dog up in here, and y'all got tigers and this and that. I'm like, that's crazy. It was fascinating on that level. So we have these big cat lovers and these animal lovers, and they're in the zoos, and we meet one who was a former drug lord who has his love of animals. It started off nice, okay, telling all these things, and you had another one, Dr. Antel, I think his name was, and he uses his animals, and he's really making money. His animals are being used. He trains them and uses them in films such as Dr. Dolittle, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, I believe. And he also worked with Britney Spears. I think when she was doing I'm a Slave for You, I believe that snake was his. I think so. So anyway, but the two people that this thing, really the star of this whole Tiger King thing is the over-the-top, flamboyant, country western singing thug. He's all those things. He's flamboyant. He's Joe Exotic. Now let me tell you, this man is, he loves the camera. It shows him working on a reality show. I think it was going to be called Exotic King, filming a reality show about him and his zoo. He had his own internet show. He's a country western singer. Here, kitty, kitty. That's where I get the song. Here, kitty, kitty. He makes diss tracks like he's a rapper because Here, Kitty, Kitty was one of his songs where he was dissing Carol Gaskin, who is his enemy, his total enemy. And he doesn't like Carol Gaskin because now Carol Gaskin is from the Big Cat Rescue, and she's this very wealthy woman based in, I believe, Florida, and she just loves the animals, and she's accused him and others of being abusive to the animals and exploiting the animals. And this pisses Joe off because he's like, you did the same thing at one point, and if she has her way and she makes the laws get passed the way she wants them, that could run Joe out of business. So Joe hates her. But let's focus on Joe a little bit more, and we'll get into why he hates him and Carol. We'll get into Carol. He hates her, and he's just crazy. He's completely crazy. So what else did I say? Oh, I told you he's a pimp. He's also a pimp because the homeboy has not one, but two husbands, yes, because he's homosexual, he's gay, and he's openly gay, but he's also, it's just crazy. And the thing is, when you look at his husbands, they're two younger guys One of them he had all these tattoos. He looks all rough and crazy. They just don't look like they would be with him. And it's just madness. They don't look like they would be with him. They're really younger, and it just, I don't know, it was just like, okay. But then we learned that one of them, he don't have any teeth. I'm like, where's his teeth? And then we learned that they're meth heads, and that's how he lured them in. And they even mentioned, and this was crazy too, he had a wedding where he married both of them at the same time. Man, that was odd to me. It was like, this is crazy. All this is going on. He's got a lot going on, and there was rumors that these husbands of his weren't really gay, but it was the meth that he gave, because they were meth heads, and he could supply them with meth and a place to stay, and in exchange, y'all marry me and blah, 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 blah. That's just, yeah, very crazy stuff going on here. So now, like I said, he hates Carol Gaskin, and she is this woman who, she's kind of like a flower child. You could tell back in her day, they go into her story. But then when they get in her story, it's like, whoa, they get in her story, and we find out that Carol has a husband 21 years ago that went missing, and I think his name was Don Lewis. He was an animal lover. He went missing. She claims he said he was going to Costa Rica somewhere, and that was the last she saw of him. But now the rumors are, according to what his family says and what Joe is saying, the rumors are that they think she killed him. Because he disappeared. They ain't never found his body. She ain't give him no funeral. She insists she's innocent. I don't know, Carol. It was something about your energy. I think you killed him. I think you killed your husband too. But listen, I wasn't there, but I think you killed him. You did something. One of them animals ate him. That's where the "here, kitty, kitty" comes from, because Joe made a diss record, a diss video. He has a music video where he is dissing Carol Gaskin and accusing her of killing her husband and feeding him to the tigers. She did something. I really think she did something. Everybody in here is like manipulative and crazy and hypocritical. And they all exploit animals, if you ask me. Now, Joe can't stand her so much because what happens is he's taunting her on the internet. They're saying things back and forth. She's calling him an abuser. He's calling her a bitch. He wants her dead. He's doing little shows where he has a blow-up doll, and he's stuffing things into the blow-up doll. He's actually, one time he shot the doll or shot something, and I'm like, this dude is really doing all these. It started off funny, then it was like, whoa, wait a minute, you're kind of like threatening to kill this woman. This is kind of getting a little out of hand. And he was open about his hatred for her. He wanted her down, but the problem is, this is her. This is money-wise, and this is Joe. You see, Carol had deep pockets and more power. And so Joe was doing silly things, like when his show that he took her name from one of her companies, Big Cat Rescue, and he made Big Cat Rescue Entertainment. And when he did that, she sued him, and he just kept doing stuff. But like I said, her pockets is deep. She could play this game all day. She was petty. She was petty as hell too. She could have let some things go too. But when your money's here and the other one is there, you can play this game all day. Joe didn't have those resources, but he was steady. He had his reality show. He had all these things going. He was ready to just take her down. Then things happen. Some of his property gets burned down. All of the equipment that they were using in the recordings for his reality show got burned up in this fire. He accused the guy who was his co-partner in that of doing it, because he found that, because the co-partner actually owned the rights to the show. So he had drama with that. He wasn't that pleasant with a lot of his staff. It was just a cast of characters, and it was like, you see him kind of going on the downward spiral. He's running out of money. Carol's being petty. She's winning lawsuits, and he had to pay her $1 million. She's ready to take that zoo from him. Now, I will say I was rooting for him. I'm like, don't take it, Zoo. Come on, don't take it, Zoo. Because he seemed like that's what he really loved. And it's so much going on in this. I'm telling you, 7 parts to this. It is so much going on. I could not turn away. I had to see what was going to happen next. And Joe is quite the character. He says all types of things, but money is being drained. Carol, she didn't have to do this, but she continued. I guess it was the principle for her, I guess, and she was draining him dry financially, even going after his parents who had financed him and anybody around him. So into the rescue comes, let me look at my notes, because I don't really remember stuff. I believe the guy's name was Jeff Lowe. Now Jeff Lowe, another character. He's a swinging dude. I think he was a swinger, yeah. And he did this thing where he had animals too, and he would sneak animals into hotel rooms and lure girls that way, because apparently girls love tigers. Nobody told me this. Girls love tigers. Like, y'all want to go to a hotel room and see a tiger and pet a tiger? That was odd to me. I was like, oh, okay. Because when I'm in a hotel room, I'm just sleeping off from whatever things I did earlier in the day. And, having a party or whatever. I don't want to see no tiger or no kind of other animal. I just want to go sleep or whatever. But, I was like, that's interesting. That, hey, it's animal lovers out here. I ain't judging. So he swoops in to help with Joe with this, but Joe just kept pushing this issue about Carol and these. I think, it was a little funny at first, his rivalry with her, but I think he was getting a little too much into that, and some of that just really didn't help his case. Now, as this is going on, one of his husbands leaves him. Turns out the husband was engaged. The husband was screwing around with some other woman that worked at the zoo. He leaves. And then the younger husband, he felt trapped. And he's playing around with a gun in the office or whatever and shoots himself. So we don't know if it was a suicide or what. But then what was crazy after that, I think it was shortly after the husband died, Joe was engaged again and married again. So Joe was a pimp and a player. He was bagging these young dudes, another young dude, and I'm like, what's going on here? Joe's running for mayor. Joe's running for president. Joe was just an over the top character, and people hated him. Some people hated him. They thought he was a crude and an idiot and a this and a that. And it started getting sinister, starting around that time when Jeff came onto the picture, because now Jeff says that Joe saying that he wanted to kill Carol and paid to have somebody kill Carol. And it was another employee that Jeff had brought in. And when that happened, it was really going downhill for Joe. Really going downhill for Joe. Now this, to me, guys, anybody that watched this is when I was saying, I think that they framed Joe a little bit, because why weren't they all arrested? They should have all been arrested because they all took part in this. They all discussed this of killing Carol. They all discussed it. They all sat there and mapped out where she rides her little bike, and we could get her this day. And the guy even said, yeah, he told me out to kill her, and I backed out of it. He was gonna pay me to do it, but I never did it. All of them should have went down. And then I kind of had this feeling, I was like, because didn't they say something about she had contacted Jeff to work with him a little bit? Maybe they just all set Joe up. But there's nobody in here you can trust. But I was like, because Joe's not a nice person. Nobody in here was trustworthy. But this was some fascinating, crazy stuff. And yeah, like I said, Carol did that. Carol killed her husband. She knows she killed her husband. And in fact, you know who else thinks Carol killed her husband? Which I found this hilarious. I was watching something, and O.J. Simpson is speaking on the disappearance of Carol's husband. O.J., bruh, you don't need to be talking. No, you don't get this. No, Joe. O.J., you should be the. But you would know. That's all I'm gonna say about that. you shouldn't say anything on this. And this whole thing. Carol is upset because also now she feels betrayed by the producers of this documentary because she said she was not expecting them to focus or even discuss in the length that they did her story and her husband disappearing. And she said she was very disappointed in that. And I mean, what you expect? And then his family threw her under the bus too. And so she's upset about that. But now this has sparked interest because of how popular this show is. They're looking into that case again. So we may find out who killed her husband. We may find out. We may find out. And there was also some other interesting stuff. They were saying that, I mean, there's a lot going on. There may be an actual series coming out where I heard Rob Lowe is going to play Joe, I was going to say Joe Dirt, Joe Exotic. So, I mean, this docuseries was crazy. And, like, these characters seem like something that was written anyway. It was like, is this for real? Pretty crazy stuff. There was even something, and I don't know how true this is. I saw it on the internet. You can't believe everything you see. Something about Trump thinking about giving a pardon to Joe Exotic. I don't know. We shall see. But this whole thing was just crazy and outrageous. I didn't trust any of them. Everybody was a former crook and a former this and a sneaky this and a meth head and a this and that. It was just so much going on. There's somebody in there, the tiger or something, bit her arm off, and she came right on back to work with no arm. Like, it was just so many things, just so many things. And I enjoyed every second of it. And the songs, here, kitty, kitty. And then you got Joe singing at his husband's funeral, and he's cooking. He's a caterer now. He cooked this big thing at the... It was just all over. Then, of course, Joe ends up in jail. And he ends up, they even still have him speaking from jail. They take us through his trial, him being found guilty and the things he was saying. And he testified, he told everything he knew. That's why I was like, why didn't they arrest the other guys as well? And, it was some fascinating, really fascinating stuff. Did you guys see it? Tell me what you thought about it. I thought it was good. I thought it was fascinating. It was crazy because I'm like, wow, this stuff really happened. Because these characters, especially him, he was just so damn over the top. So I thought that was really crazy. But I enjoyed Here Kitty Kitty. That's what I'm calling it. I enjoyed it. Now I'm also hearing, and this disappoints me. One last thing. I'm also hearing that's not Joe singing those songs in those videos. Because I was like, Joe got a nice little voice, nice little country music song, diss track. Now they're saying that's not his voice, that some other group did it. I'm like, damn, I was enjoying that too. But oh well, whoever's singing those songs, if it ain't Joe, it sounds great. It sounds great. But he was singing at his husband's funeral, so he does seem to have a nice voice too. But yeah, but just an outrageous thing. Tell me your thoughts about it. Thank you for watching. I think I've covered, let me see, let me go through my loads. Yeah, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover on this. Tiger King, check it out if you have. This thing was, I know how to spoil the whole thing. Now I'm saying if you haven't seen it, watch it. Listen, watch it and come back and watch this video. Tell me, share below what you thought of it. I thought it was fascinating and entertaining. I thought everybody was just nuts, and I couldn't look away. And I understand why it was the #1 documentary on Netflix, because it's crazy. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all my other videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And you be blessed. I am out. I'll see you in the next video.